on my first big pal. He is the world's largest sword swallower, 7'3". You've seen him on America's Got Talent, Guinness Book of World Records, all sorts of crazy shit. Giant George!
Vegas, baby, Vegas! Hey! Where are we? I don't know where I am! Off to the adventure to Vegas. We're doing Freakin' Wrestling, hosted by Sin Bodhi, formerly known as Kazarni from the WWE SmackDown. So, we're going to be doing a show in Vegas. I keep saying we like I'm royal. I am doing a show in Vegas for a friend. I'm coming in. I'm doing Crazy Straw. I'm doing some of my other little bits. I'm swallowing a sword, laying on a bed of nails. Just a little handful of stuff for this guy's show. So that's what's going on. Yay! Hi, how are you? My name is Tommy. Tommy Skull. I am the Death Rider. I'm Nicolas Cage's stunt double. So it's going to be a gathering of very odd performers, and then on top of that, there's going to be like 4 or 5 wrestling matches. Everything from Satan versus Jesus to, I have really no idea. I know there's a midget wrestling a female wrestler, so it's going to be kind of scary, but we'll see. So, what we're planning on doing on the way to Vegas. We left fairly early, so we didn't have to rush, and we are headed to we are headed to the Calico Ghost Town. If that sounds familiar, that's kind of what they call the ghost town at Knott's Berry Farm, but this is the original ghost town. We're still not sure which one is based off of which. Knott's did own this ghost town for a while. They rebuilt it and everything else and put a few of their exhibits in it. There's a thing called the Haunted Shack at Knott's Berry Farm where you would go in, you could roll a bowling ball uphill, you'd stand in 2 locations and your height, the tall person would be short and the short person would be tall. They tore that down at Knott's, but the one here is still here, and that's one reason why we're going, because I really want to get video of that. As I said, I do a lot of touring. I travel all over the place, and I found out that the fun part of it isn't performing all the time. It's visiting the little off-the-wall places on the way there. So what's going to happen is I want to get one like this, just a little bit longer because, you know, I'm bigger. I get put into it, I get chained up, placed inside, it gets lit on fire, and pushed down a hill in a cart like this, and I have to get out before it goes into the ocean. Okay, it's stupid, but it's a dream. We have Hank's Hotel. So, we're gonna go over to the shack. We've been told it's haunted. We're gonna find out for ourselves. So be very, very careful. Shh, don't tell anyone we're going there. Gotta be a goat. Oh, look, there's a pathway we could have taken. came here just for the Mystery Shack, and it's closed. So I want my money back. I came here just for that. So kind of disappointed, but you know, maybe if I find someone, I'll ask and say what the heck, and try to get open. I don't know. Bye bye. Whole reason I came here. Look tall. Great.
하나, 원, 투, 쓰리, 치. 오, 잘생겼어.
Thank you. Have a good one. Stunts. I mean, like blowing a firecracker on your chest the first time scares the crap out of you. First time you do almost any of the stunts I do would fit in the extreme category of what are you thinking? The record was I think 700 pounds, and I wanted to blow it out the water. I was like, I just want to destroy it. So I decided I was going to do at least 1,000 pounds, if not more. I ended up doing, I think, 1,100 and something pounds. And the concrete's placed on the chest. It sits there for 12 seconds and gets beaten with a sledgehammer. So to get ready for it, the problem getting ready for it is at the same time I was working a job that I was doing 12-hour shifts. So I'd get off work, I'd sleep for like an hour, get up and hunt for sponsors to try to cover the costs of everything, because the Blitz was not going to pay for anything. They wanted me to do it at their halftime show, but they weren't willing to pay for anything. So I then contacted different sponsors throughout the week, and then I would average sleep like maybe 2 to 3 hours a day. So I got really sick right before the stunt, and so I would have to try to push through it. So a friend of mine was helping me work on the stunt. So we would gather in his garage, and him and another guy would sit and place bricks on my chest until I was starting to have a hard time breathing, and then they would leave it on me for like 20 seconds, and then they would take them off. And then I would breathe a little bit, maybe have a drink of water, and then do it again. So for like a week, I was just getting pounded with concrete onto my chest, and we just weren't worried about the breaking part yet, which we should have worried about, because luckily the day of the stunt, something told me to do a test run. So we got permission to go into the stadium and do the whole stunt. And the concrete we were using, instead of cinder blocks you hit with a brick, they shatter. We were using these solid paving stones. They were around 2 inches to 3 inches thick, and around a foot long. So we were having those placed onto a board over my chest. Well, when you hit them with a sledgehammer, they didn't shatter. They would just basically go boom. Sometimes they wouldn't even break. So we found out that it took longer to break those bricks than we thought. And the original thought was they were just going to keep pounding and not worry about cleanup, because they could probably just go through it, because we were thinking cinder blocks. Because cinder blocks have a tendency of just shattering, and you could just work yourself through it. So we had to make sure that we had a crew that would, we'd have them bust the top layer, and they would take like a 2-second break while the crew ran at the thing and just cleared off any area of bricks that were broken, because the Guinness records, Guinness stated that every brick had to be broken into at least 2 parts to be counted. So we had to have spotters making sure that they weren't throwing any bricks off that weren't broken. And we basically went one part further, which wasn't just the brick had to be broken in 2 parts. They had to be broken into at least a good half piece. Every piece had to be a good. Since it was a foot, the piece had to. I couldn't just break off a corner of one of them and count it. I didn't want anything more than 8 inches being thrown off me, so I made sure they would shatter them. So during the stunt, they would break it and clean it off. So we did find out. So we did it the first time. It didn't really work. We were having a really hard time. I was having a hard time breathing with all the bricks on. And then the last couple bricks that were left over, one of them was over my kneecap, and one of the guys wasn't thinking, and he hit that brick full force. So all the force went straight through the brick, through the board, into my kneecap, and really hurt me. So I had my wife go get knee pads for soccer players, and I had one of them on that knee when I did the actual stunt to give a little bit of a cushion so I could tolerate the pain, because my knee was hurting really bad. What ended up happening is that week I ended up having to have it drained twice. I had to have a doctor drain all the gunk out of my kneecap because it had just blew up. So people don't get hit in the knee with a sledgehammer. It's bad. So we kind of had a good idea. So when we did the stunt for real in front of the stadium and everything else, and also when we did the test, there was no one in the building, so every hit and everything echoed through the walls. I have copies of it on tape, and it's the most disturbing. You hear people crying during it. My wife and my best friend's mother are almost in tears because it sounds like I'm being killed, because you can hear me grunting every time this sledgehammer hit me, and just the sound, it was just the most disturbing sound you'd ever hear. It just sounded like a torture. But when we did it live, there was tons of people in the stadium, so you could hear, you heard the echoing, but you also got it drowned out with the cheers and everything. So it was really a cool event. And when we did it for real, we even put 100 pounds more than I did during the test, and went through the whole thing, and everyone liked it. So, but now I can tell weather when the weather starts changing. My knee tells me, so it's a gift that I have now.
Basically, we had just hit Vegas. I'm here with George the Giant. We are going to the Freak Show. What is it called?
It's Freakin' Wrestling. Dun, 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 dun.
I've been chasing paper man and stowed away my soul. Where the picket fence stabbed me to death, now I'm lying here in a hole. Where the preacher man done tell me he's like a thief inside the night. Well, grab your basket all around, we illuminate the night. 4 dead presidents are standing there in a line. Well, stuff your trap off all the food on the ground, be drunk on wine. Well, I smell the blood in what we done. You miss the elevator just to get the job done. Born into this land of greed, but sell off everything, get to what you need. Some the songs of business, better fake yourself a smile, 'cause you won't be complaining when you give them to deny. The devil wears a jacket made from the finest furs that he got at price. See the sweatshops don't keep working, call me sir. Yes, sir! I've been chasing paper man and stowed away my soul. Well, the picket fence stabbed me to death, now I'm lying here in a hole. Well, the preacher man done tell me he's like a thief inside the night. Well, grab your basket all around, we illuminate the night. 4 dead presidents are standing there in a line. We'll stuff the trap up, all the food on the ground, be drunk on wine. I smell the blood in what we done. You miss the elevator just to get the job done. Born into this land of greed, we'll sell off everything, get to what you need. Some the songs of business, better fake yourself a smile, 'cause you won't Lead on.